All right, let's dive into something I think we've all felt at some point. The difference between real empathy and the kind that just feels off. You know that feeling, right? Someone says all the right words, they nod in all the right places, but you walk away feeling more alone, maybe even more misunderstood than when you started. We're going to figure out what's really going on there.
Just think about it for a second. You share something really personal, something vulnerable, and the response sounds like they get it, but something's wrong. You leave the conversation feeling unseen, or worse, like you were just a puzzle for them to solve. It can even make you question your own feelings. Well, it turns out that's a very real thing. And today, we're going to put a name to it.
And that name is the empathy illusion. It's all about that gap between the empathy someone performs for you and what's actually happening in that conversation. And just to be super clear, we're not necessarily talking about people being mean or trying to hurt you on purpose. We're talking about a behavior where the appearance of being empathetic becomes way more important than the actual act of, genuinely connecting with what another person is going through. Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we've got to draw a really clear line in the sand between the real deal and the performance. Let's build a little framework so you can spot the differences. So here's the best way to think about it. This is the central metaphor to keep in your back pocket. Genuine empathy is like a mirror. It reflects your own experience back to you, helping you feel seen, helping you feel validated. Fake empathy, on the other hand, well, that's a spotlight. It uses your emotions to shine a big, bright light on the person listening, making them the star of the show. There's actually an official term for this spotlight behavior, performative compassion. And the most important word here is motivation. The goal isn't connection, it's about perception. It's about being seen as the compassionate one, the wise one, the intuitive one, and that's often a way to take control of the whole conversation. So how do you actually spot this out in the wild? It's probably easier than you think. I'm going to give you a simple little field guide. 3 telltale signs that you're dealing with a spotlight, not a mirror. All right, here are the 3 big ones, plain and simple. Number 1, they diagnose you instead of listening. 2, they put a public spotlight on your emotions. And 3, they get super defensive if you correct them. Let's break down what each of these actually looks and sounds like.
First up, diagnosing. A truly empathetic person will just sit with your feelings. They'll ask questions, but someone who's performing, they jump straight to a conclusion. They frame your entire experience as a problem that they can solve, which makes them look powerful and wise, but it totally skips over the part where they're supposed to, listen. It just leaves you feeling like a project, not a person.
Now, this next one is a little more subtle, but wow, is it powerful. They take your private feelings and make them a public announcement. It is a classic spotlight move. By declaring to a group that they can sense your negativity, they position themselves as this uniquely perceptive person. It's got very little to do with supporting you and everything to do with showing off their supposed special abilities. And it usually just leaves you feeling totally exposed. And finally, the defensive pivot. This is the real giveaway. What happens when you gently say, hey, actually, that's not what I'm feeling at all? A genuine person would adjust. A performer gets defensive. They flip it around and make you the problem for being too sensitive. That defensiveness tells you everything. Their ego is completely wrapped up in their performance, and you just criticize their acting. Okay, so we know what it looks like, but why do people do this? What's going on in their heads? Let's peel back one more layer and look at the psychological drivers behind all this performative compassion. And it really boils down to 2 key ideas that kind of work together. Defense mechanisms that are all about protecting their own ego in this deep-seated need to be the center of attention. So first, we've got egocentric defense mechanisms. I know it's a fancy term, but it just means that their empathy is actually a shield. By quickly diagnosing you or telling you how you feel, they get to avoid the messy, uncomfortable work of actually feeling with you. They're protecting their own ego by keeping your difficult emotions at a safe distance.
And that shield works hand in hand with spotlight seeking. This is that psychological itch, that need to be the one in the room who's seen as the most caring, the most insightful, the most helpful. Your vulnerability, that becomes their stage. And your feelings, well, they just become props for their performance.
Look, understanding all this isn't about judging people or pointing fingers. It's about protecting your own energy and learning how to find real, genuine connection. Being around performative empathy all the time can really start to make you doubt yourself and your own experiences. Recognizing the pattern is the first step toward building healthier, more authentic relationship.
Let's make it super practical. Imagine you're sharing something really difficult. The genuine empath creates space for you. They say something like, wow, that sounds incredibly tough. Tell me more about it if you want. But the fake empath, they take up space.
They say, "Oh, I know exactly what you need to do." See the difference? One is an invitation, the other is an invasion.
So the next time you're sharing something and you get that off feeling, just ask yourself this one simple question. Is this person holding up a mirror, helping me see myself more clearly? Or have they turned on a spotlight, making themselves the center of my story? The answer? Well, the answer will tell you everything you need to know.
Thanks for watching Psych Reboot. Take a breath, reset your mind, and I'll see you in the next one.